Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GoldBowling.com 250 at Richmond Raceway as we get set for action here tonight. It is the final race of the regular season. It has taken almost 2.5 months to get to this point in the year, but we are going to crown a regular season champion tonight. And it is down to two drivers, Kyle Busch and Austin Cindric. Busch was able to take the points lead back after Cindric took it back with a win the prior night at Mid-Ohio. Kyle Busch ended up getting the win last night at Homestead. Kyle Busch has a 9-point lead coming into this race today over Austin Cindric. So it should be a lot of fun there. We'll keep track of that. We'll also keep track of the playoff bubble going forward as well, as we'll take a look at the playoff standings coming into this race tonight also. So a quick look at the playoff standings, just to also mention Brandon Jones and Ryan Sieg did clinch playoff spots on points last night, so they are both locked in. So we have still 3 spots remaining, and here is why. Austin Hill and Joe Nemechek do have wins on the season, but they have to be in the top 20 to make it into the Xfinity Series playoffs. Currently, they're both outside the top 20. Austin Hill needs to gain 21 points on Tommy Joe Martins today, and Joe Nemechek needs to gain 32 on Tommy Joe Martins if they're going to want to get in the playoffs. If they can do that, they will get in. Also, if they do not do that, then that is where the other spots for points can get locked up. Harrison Burton is 35 points above the cut line right now. Chase Briscoe is 30 points above the cut line. 22 points above the cut line is Justin Haley, and he is the last driver in on points currently, because the first driver out of points, or on the outside of the cut line on points, is Jeremy Clements. He is 22 back. So, I mean, there is just quite a bit going on here. That is to say the least. Called 88, Ghost Destroyer, welcome to the stream. So here we go. Here in this one, not sure why the stream keeps cutting in and out. Again, I'm using the hotspot tonight, so it's definitely a YouTube problem, that is for sure. But nevertheless, we are going to run some practice here, getting things set up, making sure the car is going to get ready to go. Kyle Busch wants those extra 15 playoff points if he can win the regular season championship at the conclusion of the race tonight. 250 laps around this 3/4 mile short track. Sage Castillo, welcome to the stream. I'm going to run about 4 laps here in practice just to kind of get a feel for the race car. Definitely down to crunch time. So many things to watch for here tonight. It is going to be a busy night, which will likely make for a quick race, especially with it being in the Xfinity Series. Just so many different playoff dilemmas we'll have to keep an eye on throughout the course of the race. And if anybody clinches on points over the course of the race due to DNFs in the back of the field or throughout the course of the race, I will mention that as well, because there is a good possibility that Harrison Burton can clinch before the actual end of the race. I guess Busch is going to run a few more than just a handful of laps here. He's trying to get in as much of a rhythm as he can. Might be able to loosen the car up slightly, at least for qualifying, and then for the race, I think he's going to go with the setup he's currently got right now. We are using the controller in the race tonight. .537. This is the first time we have gone to Richmond in the Xfinity Series. The only time we go here this season. And the first race of the playoffs will be tomorrow night for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It will be at Daytona. So, 100 lap event there under the lights. And the Firecracker 250 should be a lot of fun to start the playoffs tomorrow night. But again, we'll set the rest of the playoff field here in this one. Kyle Busch going to practice a pit stop now, 40 miles an hour. Good job. He timed it perfectly, getting onto pit road without a penalty that time. One of the more narrow and tougher pit roads to get onto in all of NASCAR. Joshua White, welcome to the stream. Looking like a quick pit stop, I should say, here in qualifying. Practice, rather. Qualifying will be coming up next. We'll have some session qualifying coming up. Kyle had a poor qualifying effort at Homestead yesterday. Remember, we saw Jesse Little lead the most laps in that race. He led over 100 laps. 108 laps to be exact out of the 200 that were ran last night. And that is going to conclude practice here for Busch. Fastest lap was a 21.537. That was lap number 4 in which he ran. Loosen the car up slightly here for qualifying purposes only. Top 24 will make it into round number 2. Qualifying again for the final race of the regular season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, this custom schedule season on NASCAR Heat 5. Ray Howard, welcome to the stream. Now, Richmond is probably my worst track on this game, it seems like. So even though we have a 9-point lead for the regular season championship over Cindric, by no means is that a guaranteed lock. 21.681, and that was a terrible qualifying effort for Busch. He qualified dead last for the race here tonight. Wow. It looks like we have one driver going to the rear of the field. They'll tighten that car back up. It's not like it was too loose necessarily in qualifying. He just did not run fast. He was about 0.3 of a second quicker in practice than what he was in qualifying, so maybe he went the wrong way with the setup change. So again, coming off a win at Homestead last night as we roll into the GoBowling.com 250. Looks like Michael Annett might be one of the drivers to beat in today's race. Chad Fincham, the lone driver, starting at the rear of the field. So 250 laps to decide the regular season championship, but most importantly, who will get those final few playoff spots here tonight. The green flag is in the air, and we are underway at Richmond. It's going to be a busy night tonight, but we'll do our best to cover the playoff plot as it thickens throughout the course of the race. Kyle Busch with a good initial start there, going 3 wide through 1 and 2 already, gaining a couple spots, still to the inside of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Earnhardt's been on a tear. He's finished in the top 10 in the last 3 races. A lot of drivers in must-win situations. Final race to try to get into the postseason. Jeffrey Earnhardt, one of those drivers that is in the top 20, so a win would put him in. See Joe Nemechek starting at the back of the field. Remember, he came in 32 points below 20th. And he does have a win this year. Remember, he won the first Talladega race this season. So even with a win, he might not get into the playoffs. Same goes for Austin Hill. Hill is 21 points below 20th. He won the season opener at Daytona. Both of them were in the top 20 at the time of their wins. Oh man, a big bump and run move there by Fincham. They were 4 wide in the center of the corner, as Vinnie Miller will pass all 3 of them. After that little bit of a mishap, it's taken Kyle Busch a little bit to get going here tonight. Cindric is the guy. He is racing for that regular season title. Kyle's car feels really tight in the very beginning of this race. Decent lap that time. That was about what he ran in qualifying. When Mike Harmon gets to his inside, he's going to have to let him go early on. Kyle's going to have to wait for his car to come in. He'll likely get faster over the course of the long run, but he is not off to a good start. A very poor qualifying effort. Even worse than last night, putting himself in a hole early on. He's already 10 seconds off the lead, just 7 laps into the race, so he's going to have to work for this one. To clinch the regular season championship for Kyle Busch, he needs to score 31 points to get the tiebreaker. That means he would have to finish 6th or better to clinch the regular season title. So if Austin Cindric wins tonight, Kyle Busch has to finish 6th or better. And if Cindric doesn't get the win, Kyle's just got to make sure he finishes within 8 positions of him to win the regular season title. So that is what's at stake for Kyle. So definitely still racing for something tonight. I do let out of the gas before braking. I always do that. Yeah, I never ride the brakes. I do it quickly though. Yeah, I never ride the brakes in this game. Really, any game. Oh man! Landon Castle just put the bump and run, and here comes Harmon. Putting the bump and run to Busch also, and that's not what Kyle wants to see, as aggressive racing at the back of the pack like we're seeing early on. It is costing him a ton of time right now trying to get through this field. Every time he passes a car or 2 cars, he just gets moved out of the way and loses the spots right back again. Elijah Brown, welcome to the stream. I do not do iRacing. Not yet, at least. I plan on doing it in the future. No real timetable for it, but yeah, I get asked that a lot, though. Definitely something I can work on over the course of the winter, when the winter time comes and I've got more time on my hands. Yeah, we got the balanced slider for tonight's race too, so I don't know what's going on right now with this number 54 team, but they are in trouble early on if they want to win the regular season title tonight. 15 playoff points makes a difference. Oh, look at him going 3 wide up the middle now between Nemechek and LeBay. LeBay's locked into the playoffs. He won back at Pocono this season. Guaranteed lock inside the top 20 with ease. I think he's currently sitting 13th in the standings coming into tonight. Wow, David Starr really drove it in deep there on the outside to stick with Busch. Busch had to get out of the gas on the exit of 2. He didn't want to run into the side of Jeff Green. So Busch is starting to get through more and more cars now. He's up to 27th off of turn 4 this time to the start-finish line. Already 15 laps completed in the race, but he is 19.5 seconds off the lead. And the leaders are just now hitting lap traffic. Tough to tell who exactly is leading the race. Tough to say exactly how many pit stops will be in this race as well. Usually on the short tracks, the tire wear pretty crucial. Saw that in the race in real life at Richmond this week too, in the Cup Series in particular, how much the tires really fell off over the course of a run. You're going to see a lot of that here tonight as well. And there's Jeremy Clements. He sits 22 points below the cut line. He's the first driver outside looking in on points, and he's off to a terrible start outside the top 25 early on. He's trying to race Justin Haley right now for that final transfer spot. Guys in better equipment that need a win to get in. Notable drivers, Riley Herbst, the rookie, the number 18 car. must win tonight to get in. He cannot point his way in. Ross Chastain, another one of those drivers that cannot point his way in. He's going to have to win. Chastain's DNF'd in 4 of the last 6 races. He was right around the bubble 6 races ago before that terrible stretch of runs. And look at Michael Annett. He's about to put Kyle Busch a lap down early. And Busch trying to block for dear life right now off of turn 4 as the race leader Michael Annett has lapped a few cars already. Just 25 cars on the lead lap, so Kyle Busch not running a quick pace at all nearly going to the race. Kyle's going to do his best here. He really has to hit his marks now. Not that he wasn't before. Jacob Comstock, welcome to the stream. There's the 08, Joe Graff Jr., Austin Hill in 23rd. Not in a good spot to make up 21 points tonight in the early going either. It's almost going to be a miracle for Nemechek to get in almost as well as Austin Hill, considering how he's running in the early going of the race. Oh, Hill shut the door on Busch. Busch was going to drive it in a lot deeper into 1, but Hill got to the bottom a little bit quicker there. Busch gets the drive off of turn 2. Easily going to get around him this time. And Michael Annett's just kind of following Kyle Busch through these cars. Busch is passing for position. Of course, when Annett passes him, he's putting him a lap down. Nobody in the real vicinity of Michael Annett as far as challenging him for the lead. And now Annett tries the outside. A little bit different of a line. He lost ground there. The outside maybe not the way to go at Richmond anymore, at least it seems like, since this track surface is really worn out over the years. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Fastest lap of the race that last time for Busch, but still not running lap times near what he ran in practice. Of course, practice was in the daytime, but you would think in the nighttime there'd be a little more grip. Kyle Busch ran a 21.3 at one point there, so he's definitely lacking what he had in practice, and he's back to the same setup too. I'm very surprised Busch hasn't gone a lap down yet. Boy, Annett almost got under him there, but I think Annett got a little loose off of turn 4. He wasn't able to get the power down. Oh man, he almost got to the back bumper of Busch. We've seen a couple guys use the bumper and move Busch out of the way already. How much more patient will the one car of Annett be? Chase Briscoe's in second place right now. Oh, contact! Busch got into the 93 of McLaughlin on corner exit off of turn 2, and Annett gets to the back bumper of Busch. He tries to move him, but Busch stays to the inside of the 93 car. Annett tried the bump and run that time to put Busch a lap down finally, but it didn't work. I mean, Kyle's hitting his marks about as good as he can right now. And Briscoe's closing the gap slowly but surely on Michael Annett. And Annett now to the inside of Kyle Busch. Busch is a lap down off of turn 4. Busch going to try to cross him over, though, into turns 1 and 2. He's back down to the bottom again, but he's just not as fast as the leader. Very rarely have you seen this at all this season where Kyle Busch is struggling to stay on the lead lap due to speed. But that is the case tonight. And Annett had to make quick work of Busch, and he took his time. Saw Briscoe was closing in, he tried the bump and run, ended up getting around him eventually about a lap later. And Annett's just driving away from Busch. And Briscoe for that matter too. Problem is, he's not even in the free pass position anymore. Baccarella and Matt Mills have both gone a lap down in front of him in 17th and 18th. 15 of Howard's already 1 lap down, about to go 2 laps down as Annette got caught behind him there. He'll be able to get to his inside through 3 and 4 now. Busch is driving it hard. He'll get around Mills, so Kyle Busch back in the free pass spot. He's up to 17th. Michael Annett does have a win already this season. He's actually sitting 3rd in the point standings. Can't even move up to 2nd. He's locked in at 3rd no matter what happens. Can't move backwards either. So Michael Annett strictly just racing for a win tonight to get 5 more playoff points to add on to his total. Become the 3rd driver to get multiple wins this season if he does find his way to victory lane. McFergal, welcome to the stream. The wheel is an RWA. Racing wheel Apex. Not using it tonight. Usually alternate back and forth more often than not with the steering wheel and the controller. Haven't used the steering wheel too much recently because it's been disconnecting on us at random times. We did use it last night at Homestead for the Xfinity Series and didn't have a problem. Look at that mess of lap cars right in front of the race leader Annett, and he just blows right past all of them. Chase Briscoe in 2nd is now close to Kyle Busch. I mean, Annett is just absolutely driving away. I'm very surprised how he got through guys like Harrison Burton and Tommy Joe Martins as quickly as he did. 3 wide at the bottom goes Busch. He is in 16th now. Briscoe going to follow him right through there. Now up to 15th. Tough to tell exactly where Austin Cindric is running right now. We have not seen him yet tonight. Almost 50 laps in already. Oh, we just need more speed. That's all. The car's handling fine. It's just not fast. It started off tight at the beginning of the run, but currently as it runs right now in the middle of the run, it's not... It's handling fine. It's not loose. It's not tight. It's just slow. I don't really know if it's really anything we can do mid-race. Briscoe got around Busch. Busch got him right back and holds him off. Whatever happens, Busch needs this to play green long enough for him to A, either get back on the lead lap, or B, at the very worst, get in the free pass spot. I mean, it's just unbelievable how many cars Michael Annett has put a lap down already in the race. We're not even 50 laps in, and there's only 11 cars on the lead lap. Busch battles Brandon Brown for a spot now, barely clears him off at turn 2. He was committed there. And it is getting a little loose up the exit of turn 2, not so much turn 4. Turn 2 is a little sharper exit to the corner, but not only that, he's got a little bit of rear bumper damage. Again, we've had about 3 cars try to use a bump and run tactic on us already. It's really worn out that back bumper of Busch's car in the early going of the race. Justin Haley in 11, doing what he needs to do right now. Mainly, he's just got to get to the end of the race. That's pretty much all Justin Haley has to do, is get to the end of the race. The only guy who can actually outrace him on points is Jeremy Clements. And again, he came in 22 points back. That's going to be hard to gain in one race, unless Justin Haley does not make it to the finish. Kyle is moving through the field. He is up to 12th. It's just compared to where the leader is, and it did not help that he qualified poorly, of course. Couldn't get through the traffic at the very beginning of the race, and that cost him a lot of time too. Michael Annett is stuck right now behind a couple lap cars. Trying to put Justin Haley a lap down here. And look at the amount of ground not only Kyle Busch is catching, but more importantly Chase Briscoe as far as the battle for the lead goes. Briscoe has closed the gap on Michael Annett. Busch to the bottom, 3 wide now on the leader. Michael Annett might get past. Here comes Briscoe to the inside. 3 wide for the lead. Chase Briscoe is there. And Briscoe takes the lead off of turn 4. Briscoe looking for his first win of the year. He comes in 30 points to the good. Likely going to point his way in, barring a catastrophe tonight, but looking for playoff points if he can get a win. Busch, meanwhile, back on the lead lap, but Briscoe is there, and he's trying to put him back a lap down again. And there's Austin Cindric in 9th place currently. He's only had 5 finishes outside the top 10 this year. That includes in the last race, last night. Busch going for 10th on seed. So Cindric nowhere near the lead right now. It's looking like as long as Busch finishes within 8 positions of Cindric, he will win the regular season title. But of course, Busch wants to go to victory lane if he can. Not only get the bonus points and the playoff points for winning the regular season title perhaps tonight, but there'd be another 5 to add on to the season total with another win as well. To do that, he needs to really stay on the lead lap here. Only 10 cars on the lead lap in the early going of the race. Briscoe is slightly pulling away from Annett. Annett's starting to struggle badly through the lap traffic. We're just past halfway through the tire run right now. Oh, Busch kind of misses corner to 3 and 4 just a tad bit. Gets a decent drive off and barely blocks Briscoe at the line. Annett closes the gap on Briscoe big time through 3 and 4. Busch pulls him. A little bit more breathing room for Kyle Busch now. A couple lap cars in between them as well. And now the lap cars behind Busch are side by side. So that's going to help him out also. It's going to make that battle for the lead more intense here before long. But now Annett's stuck to the outside of a lap car. So Annett's still going to lose time anyway. Still 6 seconds behind Cindric for 9th.
Careful, still there. You got room, you're clear.
Ooh, Vinnie Miller cuts off Busch through 1 and 2. Busch is starting to drive away from those guys now. Oh, Briscoe. Man, he really did not get the best of luck off of turn 2 there with those couple lap cars. And here comes Annett once again. Annett filing on the bottom. Annett now to the top off of turn 4 to follow Briscoe. Through the lap traffic a little more back there. We get decent green flag runs tonight. Tires won't be an issue. As far as the 4 sets go to the end of the race, you can go almost 100 laps on a full tank of fuel here at Richmond, so we don't have that many cautions for sure. It's definitely going to become some sort of a lesser strategy race, I guess. Really putting a lot in the driver's hands here in tonight's race. Looking at your guys' suggestions down in the chat below for possible setup changes under the first pit stop of the race tonight. Just not really sure exactly which way I want to go. But thanks for recommending stuff for sure. I definitely don't want anything that's going to change the handling of the car, because we got to make sure we get to the end of the race if we're going to want to win the regular season championship. Worst case scenario for Busch is if he gets in an accident. At that point, that means Cindric's just got to be able to finish 28th or better, and he'd end up winning the regular season title if Busch crashes out of this thing. So no, I'm not loose. Car's driving pretty well. Caution's out for the first time today. Ryan Siegel get the free pass at 11th place. So this is the first caution of the race. Definitely going to take 4 tires under the stop here for Busch. Everybody else is pitting also. Not going to repair that damage though. Try to save some time on pit road and add tape. We'll add 10% of tape there from 40 to 50%. Keep the tire pressures the same here. What? Oh no! I thought I hit accept the whole time. I was just sitting there thinking I hit accept. Well, green flag's back in the air. Kyle Busch misses the pits under caution. Oh man. And now trying to hold on for dear life, but he's got no chance of holding these guys off on 4 fresh Goodyears. We know Busch doesn't really have that fast of a car either. They split him 3 wide. Chastain now to the lead off of turn 4. About 181 laps to go. Briscoe to the bottom of the racetrack now, looking for the race lead. And with Cindric on the lead lap, this is major problems here for the 54 of Kyle Busch. And he's going to have to ride it out and hope for another caution. The regular season championship implications on the line. He cannot pit under green, because if he pits under green, he's going to lose 2 laps. That's going to be tough to get back if he doesn't get a long enough green flag run. Not only that, being on these older tires, he's running even slower compared to the leaders than what he was before. He definitely started to gain a little bit of speed over the course of the last run, but obviously on about 65 to 70 lap older tires, there's just no chance. He is hanging on for dear life. Cindric still behind him right now. Not any longer. Cindric will pass Busch for 9th place.
Got a car low now. Hold your line, got one inside. Inside.
Oh, contact with the 93 of McLaughlin. Look how much not only Busch had to check up because of that contact, but McLaughlin checked up too. Oh no! And McLaughlin saves it. What a save by CJ McLaughlin. He got really loose into turn 3. I think when Busch pulled down in front of him, he got into the back of Busch. He couldn't check up in time, and McLaughlin with a huge slide and a great save. That kind of stacked up the cars behind him, giving Busch at least a little bit more breathing room now. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Again, just one lone caution today, and it came just over 60 laps into the race. Now, Busch can make it about another 27 laps or so on fuel. And that's what he's going to have to do, but if he goes a lap down, then he might as well pit, because he's not going to be able to get it back under green. So I think that's the strategy at this point, is Busch is going to stay out. Oh, we got a car in the wall. Turns 1 and 2. Will that bring out a caution? Not yet. That's Josh Bilicki in the 99 car who got in the wall up in turn 4. I think he blew a right front tire as he's limping it around the racetrack, but we stay green here at Richmond, and that should have possibly been the caution Busch needed, but he's not going to get it. It looks like the 99 of Bilicki is going to be able to limp it and get back to pit road eventually, as long as he doesn't get ran over from behind, if he can get to the bottom of the track and out of the way. And Bilicki is on pit road and in his pit box as we speak, servicing the race car and the damage he's got to the right front. And that will likely end Bilicki's hopes of trying to make the playoffs. He was in a must-win situation coming into the night. Somebody else has already DNF'd before him also. So with at least one DNF, which we had before Bilicki's incident, Harrison Burton has now locked a spot in on points no matter what happens tonight. Harrison Burton will be in the NASCAR Xfinity playoffs, so still 2 spots remain. And who will get those 2 spots? Assuming Austin Hill and Joe Nemechek can't get back in, of course. Bilicki is going to get that car back out on the racetrack, but he has lost multiple laps, and Busch really misses marks in 1 and 2 there. He's about 13 seconds off the lead. Oh, it's going to be an awkward angle into turn 3. Bilicki was coming off of the bottom of the track after exiting pit road, and that really messed up Busch's line in 3 and 4. Right front getting pretty worn out on Kyle's car. Oh, Mills got really, really loose. Trying to get into that braking zone into turn 3. Car definitely looked a little skatey on the outside there. Well, if there's any good news at all, is if we do get a caution, Busch saves a set of tires. Not that he necessarily had to, though, tonight, but at least he'll get bailed out that way, and it's a new race, and we can restart where we should have on the last restart. But if he doesn't get the caution in time, that's going to really hurt his chances of trying to win the regular season title. Cindric has moved up to at least 7th place as we speak. So Cindric is at least in 7th. Maybe even running better. Not entirely sure right now, but currently as we run, Busch still likely has the points lead, as long as Cindric isn't in the lead at this point. Which I highly doubt he is. And even though Busch can go another 17 laps on fuel, that right front tire is down to 13% off of turn 2. So he's likely going to have to pit for tires before he's even going to have to pit for fuel.
Easy on those tires, driver.
Kyle's still 16.5 seconds off the lead, but he should be able to stay on the lead lap long enough before his pit stop. It's just a matter of, will the caution come out before he hits pit road at this point. Surprised at how well he's holding his own on these older tires, to be quite honest. Even the driver who got the free pass under the last caution, Ryan Sieg, hasn't caught him yet. He's still about 3 seconds behind Busch.
You're wearing those tires down, driver.
Busch can go at least 3 or 4 more laps here. Those are going to be his last 3 to 4 laps in hopes for a yellow.
See if we can manage our tire wear a little, all right? See if we can manage our tire wear a little, all right?
We're almost 100 laps into the race, by the way, as well. So it does go to show how long you can go on fuel and tires at this racetrack. Of course, with it being a short track, it does help, obviously, but... Ooh, 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. Balicki's on fresh tires right now, and he looks like he's still struggling for speed.
Inside. You got room. You're clear. See if we can manage our tire.
Kyle gets around Balicki off of turn 2. He's going to stay out 1 more lap. At least 1 more. He is likely going to have to pit this time by. Looks like the right front's wearing out about 1% a lap, roughly. So he might be able to make it 1 more after this. Kyle pushing the limits for 1 more lap. Man, he desperately wants a caution here, and he's got about a half a lap to get the yellow flag. So Kyle will be coming to pit road right now as we speak. Got to make sure you don't speed. Tough pit road to hit. And he did a great job getting onto pit road. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. And the tape will be added. So the only way this is going to work out for Kyle Busch, because he did, or I should say he was able to stay on the lead lap before he came to pit road, is that he's going to have fresh tires, and he's going to be able to run these guys down now. But he's already going to lose about 2 laps at least. Yes, he is currently 2 laps down as he comes out of the pits, as expected there. So he needs this to stay green long enough for everybody else to cycle into the pits, and then hope for a caution from that point on. He'd be back on the lead lap, and honestly, he'll probably cut into that lead quite a bit too. So that's what he's looking at here. So now he needs this to play green. I know Hamilton. What, Lewis Hamilton? 3 wide there, and Austin Hill, I mean, even if he finishes top 10, he's going to need help. He's going to have to beat Tommy Joe Martins by 21 spots at least, and Martin's still running 18th. Now, Martins could wreck out of the race. And if that happened, Austin Hill could get in finishing inside the top 15. He would have to finish exactly 15th or better if Tommy Joe Martins was the wreck out of the race. But currently, he's 25th anyway. He's a couple laps behind even the 15th place car. It's likely not going to happen. And Joe Nemechek's been running even worse than Austin Hill and had more of a deficit. So those two are likely not going to make it into the next round. So it looks like we're going to, or into the playoffs at all, I should say. So therefore, even though we have 9 different winners, it looks like we're going to have 5 drivers to lock themselves in on points, assuming we don't get a new winner here tonight. And if we do, it's likely going to come from one of those guys that would have pointed their way in anyway. I don't see anybody pulling off a miracle here. Maybe Ross Chastain is the only guy you can maybe look at, because he did lead 1 lap on that last restart. He has been in the top 5 all night. But the speed that the 98 and the 1 car has, Michael Lynette in the 1, the 98 of Chase Briscoe, it's just going to be tough. No problem there, Joshua. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so my work schedule changes next week. Starting next week, I start to go back to my normal shift. So I'll be working 4 10s instead of 13-hour shifts. So I'll be getting home, or I should say I'll be getting off of work by 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock at the latest. And I don't have to go in until 6:30 in the morning. So I'm so glad I get a couple extra hours of sleep every night now. And we could stream earlier, so we don't have these late night streams like we've had on the channel since I've been working the schedule, pretty much since COVID hit right around March when they had to alternate our schedules around. So I'm thankful for that. I can finally get my sleep Monday through Wednesday. Be going into work on no less than 7 hours of sleep, and we can stream at an earlier time, which will probably help for you guys, whether you're in school or maybe don't choose to stay up as late on work nights if you have a job. So I think that'll pan out for the viewership, and it'll pan out for you guys watching. Seeing low grip around the pit area. Oh yeah, for sure. Very, very tough to get onto pit road at this racetrack. I mean, you saw in the actual cup race this weekend, 2 or 3 guys, veterans of the sport, in fact, missing pit road. Problem is, these guys can go roughly 60 laps longer than what Busch had, so we're going to have a really long green flag run here, longer than what we had at the start of the race, for this to really work out for Kyle Busch. But if it actually does work out, it'll actually end up being more beneficial for him that he missed pit road under caution and elected to stay out instead of pit. There's Cindric in 8th place currently as we run. Well, after Busch passes Baccarella 4th position, as we run with Cindric in 10th and Busch in 17th, or sorry, Cindric in 8th and Busch in 17th, we have a tie. We are tied for the regular season points title as we run. Busch gains 1 more spot here. Cindric gains a spot. He's got Riley Herbst just in front of him. That will be the difference maker. Kyle Busch does own the tiebreaker over Cindric because he has more wins this season. So that is the tiebreaker for the regular season title, and the regular season standings in total is wins, and Busch has the wins advantage. With 2 spots for position, not too far ahead of Cindric. Busch has another 4.5 seconds before he catches McLaughlin in 16th, and another 9.5 seconds to catch Matt Mills, who is in 15th. So he's got a lot of ground to cover here. Luckily, he does have the 4 fresh tire advantage. As you can see, that deficit getting smaller and smaller by the lap. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race tonight, with 136 laps to go, as we are only 10 laps away from the halfway mark here tonight. Time for the trivia question here tonight. We need to get sponsors for the show. We need to get sponsors for the races. So when we do like the trivia or we hit a certain lap mark or halfway, we can say presented by whatever. I think that'll be cool. I definitely plan on adding that in when the channel can and hopefully will get bigger down the road. We could actually get like ad revenue. We can get sponsorships. So that'd be pretty cool to add into the realism effect of this all. But of course, the idea with these full race live streams and the realistic broadcasts. But anyway, the trivia question here tonight is a NASCAR Xfinity Series based question. Who is the last driver to win 3 straight Xfinity Series races at Richmond? So again, who is the last driver to win 3 straight Xfinity races at Richmond? As Michael Annett, even with Busch on fresher tires, just blows past Kyle Busch going into 1 and 2 there. I mean, that's just flat out unbelievable, the speed that that one car has. It seems like as the run carries on, it's Briscoe who gets faster and faster. And Busch needs to get by him because now, currently as we sit, Kyle Busch is 3 laps down. Thanks for subbing there, McFergal. Greatly appreciate it, man. And anybody else who's watching that isn't subbed to the channel already, please subscribe. We got daily NASCAR content on the channel, such as these full race live streams, again with a realistic broadcast. So hopefully one day, maybe even fulfill the dream of mine to become an actual broadcaster. That would be the ideal goal. The ultimate goal, per se. But we are on the road to 1,000 subs also, so that is a first start. And the caution will fly. Oh, that is troublesome for Kyle Busch. Second caution of the race. With less than 130 to go for the leaders. And Busch just went an extra lap down, too. He was 2 laps down. Annett passed him 3 laps ago to put him 3 laps down. Busch will take the wave around to get one of those laps back, but he could have been 1 lap down with a wave around there instead of 2. And that is a tough break here for Kyle Busch. Cindric has moved up to 7th. It looks like Hemrick will get the free pass in 6th. So Cindric is a lap down. And things just getting bad, going from bad to worse here for Kyle Busch tonight. So Busch again takes the wave around. He'll restart at the rear of the field. So he'll get one of his laps back. Green flag back in the air here at Richmond. Cross flags in the air here, at least for Busch. Just past halfway for the rest of the field. And not to mention also, Kyle Busch has been nowhere close to the lead tonight too. Outside, well, I guess he did lead 1 lap under caution, but that was it. Simply because he forgot to pit. That's the only lap he's led today. I should say 2 laps under caution, but still, that's the only 2 laps he's led today. He's not led a green flag lap. And now he's on older tires again, having to survive, but luckily nowhere near as old as the last set that he had, so. It's currently what stands for Kyle Busch. And the climb to win the regular season title, again, has gotten much stiffer. Busch got really tight in 1 and 2, and Hemrick just shot right by him. Hemrick was lodged back in the field after getting the wave around there for quite a bit. Busch gets tight again, and that allows Nemechek under him all of a sudden. Now just one car behind him, and that's Chad Fincham in the 13. R6, welcome to the stream. One thing I definitely got to mention too, it's going to be a shame to see this battle for the points lead go away between Cindric and Busch, at least until they will likely end up fighting for a championship come Talladega at the end of the season. But it comes down to this for the regular season title, and currently as we run, Busch is 17th. Last we knew of, Austin Cindric was 7th. If that is still the case, Cindric has a 1-point lead over Busch as we run. Oh, we're actually 2 laps down there, R6. So I thought I hit select under the first caution of the race. We had the first caution of the race about 60 laps in. I thought I hit select, and I was just sitting there for like 5 to 10 seconds. I already had my adjustments ready to go. And then all of a sudden, I realized, oh, wait a minute. You know, we're restarting first. It didn't register, and it's because I just didn't hit select for whatever reason. Never done that before. So we ended up getting stuck a lap down, or, well, we restarted on the lead, but then we had to pit under green. And then we lost 2 laps there. Annette got around us to put us 3 laps down because he's had the fastest car in the field tonight. Once we fell 3 laps down, a caution came out again, unfortunately. Took the wave around, so we are currently 2 laps down. So we've got 1 of those 3 laps back, but it is definitely going to be a steep uphill climb for Busch the rest of the way. Still just over 100 laps to go still, but that is not a lot of time on a short track here at Richmond. Busch has just never had the speed. I think he does to compete with Cindric at least. But now both of them on different laps. He's a lap behind Cindric even, so he can't even really catch him. There's only a limit to how many spots he can gain. Cindric being a lap down. He restarted as the first car on the, or sorry, the first car 1 lap down. We'll have to see if Cindric can actually keep that to get the free pass, and if that's the case, that's going to hurt Busch even more as this race wears on.
Careful, still there. All right, you're clear.
No, we've been pretty slow on speed today. We probably at best been right around a 10th place car. I guess not all terrible, but compared to the success we've had over the course of the season, the speed's definitely not there tonight. Qualified at the back and just kind of struggled for the most part today.
Stay at the bottom. Got one peeking outside. All right, you're clear there.
Kyle does have 3 sets of tires left for the rest of this race as well. I'm very surprised we've only had 2 cautions the entire race also. Busch is going to need a lot more if he's going to want any sort of shot to get back into this thing. Gonna alternate through the different camera angles one final time in the race tonight. About 106 laps to go. Again, didn't get any answers down in the chat for that trivia question, so I'll repeat it one more time here. Give you guys a couple laps to try and figure it out. Trivia question here tonight is, who is the last driver to win 3 consecutive Xfinity Series races at Richmond? So that is the question. Yes, okay, welcome to the stream. So again, that is the question. Who is the last driver to win 3 straight Xfinity races at Richmond? Oh yeah, welcome back. Yes, okay. Busch, I was going to say he could have cleared up, but almost looked like he chose not to there for a quick second. Barely going to clear the 90 of Baccarella. Justin Allgaier is a good answer to the question, but that is not correct. Give you guys about another lap. Try and get the answer to the question. And Michael Annett is cutting through the field quickly. Busch is going to need a caution before long, or he's going to go 3 laps down again, and taking the wave around is not going to pan out for him. All the lap traffic moving out of the way there of Michael Annett. 100 to go for Busch, less than 100 to go now for the race leader, Annett. And Busch is going to have to battle Annett hard to make sure he doesn't go 3 laps down. If he's going to want a chance to really gain any more spots before the end of the race, that's going to have to be the case. And he does have a couple spots, 4 positions up here, and that is 2 more points on the line. Matt Mills and CJ McLaughlin up ahead. Busch is driving it in deep here. Michael Annett now moves to the outside, kind of changing his lanes up slightly. Busch to the inside of Mills into turn 1. Annett back down to the bottom. Busch is going to gain the spot on Mills. Now to the inside into 3 and 4 on McLaughlin in the 93. He'll clear McLaughlin now off of turn 4. Michael Annett is right there trying to get around Kyle Busch. Busch is going to hold him up quite a bit. Annett's got a huge lead back there on second place, though. I believe Justin Allgaier is currently in second. Oh, Busch got a little loose into turn 3. He washes up the track and then to the bottom. Oh, there's contact. A little bit of contact between the two. Busch going to try to cross him over into turn 3 down to the bottom. Trying to use the lap car of Anthony Alfredo as a pick. And just like that, Busch again back to 2 laps down. Sure, maybe not too happy with Busch racing him this hard, but Kyle's got to do what he's got to do. With the regular season title on the line, Annett looks to the inside again on Busch. Side drafted him down the front stretch. Busch trying to outbrake him into turn 1. On the outside, it's not going to work. And Annett is going to clear Kyle Busch now. Busch got a good run off the exit of the corner, back to the inside of Annette again. 3 wide, up the middle goes Annette. Busch beats him back to the gas and clears him with a power move off of turn 4. Boy, he's trying to hold on there. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. The answer to the trivia question tonight is Kevin Harvick. Justin Allgaier is not the answer to the question. The answer is Kevin Harvick. He's the last driver to win 3 consecutive Xfinity races at Richmond Raceway. So I got away from the question there because how intense the battle is between Busch and Annette. Annette already tried to move Busch once. And it worked, but Busch got right back around him. Twice, might I add. Busch was able to get back around him. Annette passed him clean the second time, though. Oh, Tommy Joe Martins cuts right in front of Busch. But Annette could not capitalize. Busch now to the inside of Martins. He's still about 4.5 seconds behind Harrison Burton, by the way. Annette tried to go to the outside. That didn't work. Cuts to the inside now by the time they get down into turn 1. At some point, Kyle Busch is going to have to pit. Oh, 4 wide to the bottom. 4 wide at Richmond. Busch trying to hustle around the lap traffic to get away from Michael Annette. But Annette squeezes down 3 wide in the center of 1 and 2 to get around him himself. What a move by Michael Annette. Still got a little bit of a ways at least before Busch has to hit pit road. Probably the fastest we have seen Annette all season. He did win a race early on in the year at Phoenix, but he has been dominant tonight. Briscoe's led a few laps along the way, but it is all Michael Annette here with less than 100 to go. In fact, right around 80 laps to go at this point. Everybody will have to pit one more time if we did stay green to the end, but for Kyle Busch's sake, if he pits early, he's going to lose 2 more laps. Caution comes out from that point on. His chances of winning the regular season title will have went down the drain. And he's already in a peculiar position here. Again, no clue where Cindric is at currently. We have not seen him in a while. But last we knew, he was in 7th. If he is still in 7th place, then Kyle Busch, by 2 points, or sorry, by 1 point, because there was a 9-point difference coming in, by 1 point, Kyle Busch will have the regular season championship lead as we run. That is if Cindric is in 7th. He could not move up, but he was able to move back because he was the first car lap down on the restart. And he obviously hasn't unlapped himself because Annette is right on the back bumper. We still don't even see Cindric. But if a caution comes out and Cindric gets the free pass spot, then you're looking at another interesting scenario, to say the least. And that has been very patient behind Busch. I'm quite surprised. But he hasn't had the sense of urgency to try to get around him either. Because again, Busch is running at least a decent enough pace that the second place car has not caught up to Michael Annette quite a bit. So you see Harrison Burton getting bigger out of the windshield of Busch's car. It actually looks like Chase Briscoe is closing the gap slowly but surely on Michael Annette. That next car behind Annette is Briscoe, and there's no more lap cars in between them. Will be 2 short track wins on the season for Annette. Indeed, if he does get the win tonight. He has only 2 wins of the year. Oh, Busch got tight through 3 and 4, and that to the bottom. Busch trying to side draft him, but then he gets tight again. Off of 4, he's in the wall. Busch pushed it hard, but he's not done yet. Oh, but Annette closes the door into turn 1. So Kyle Busch will go 3 laps down in 14th. It has been a rough night for him. But man, that one car is bad fast. And that had to get around him soon because Briscoe was coming. He's kind of lost him a little bit now, but Busch has to hustle though. He wants to get back around Annette just in case there's a yellow flag. Same situation as what happened last time. He just went 3 laps down, and then a couple laps later the caution came out and he got stuck 3 laps down. Had to take the wave around to get back to 2 laps down instead. If he could have held him off, could have taken the wave around, he would have been 1 lap down. Still only 2 cautions in this entire race tonight. There was an incident also where Josh Bilicki blew a right front tire earlier, hit the wall off of 4, and that was when Busch was still barely on the lead lap before he even went his first lap down, and caution did not fly. Then they ended up having a caution about 30 laps later again after Busch had hit pit road. That was a caution he could have possibly needed. And now Annette's got heavy lap traffic right in front of him here, and it is slowing him down quite a bit. I mean, look at the amount of cars that is in the vicinity there. Now granted, he has already passed a large portion of them. Oh man, look at how loose Busch was off of turn 2. He's pushing that race car really hard. Annette now trying the outside to get around Justin Haley up there. I believe Haley's already 1 lap down. He's trying to stay 1 lap down. Annette keeps getting stuck behind him. Busch is definitely closing that gap. Justin Haley is also 4th position for Kyle Busch. And Kyle can't move up any more positions anytime soon, it looks like. Kyle Busch is there, right behind Annette again. Haley really held him off big time. Busch now to the inside of Haley for position. And he shoots the gap enough to get his lap back. One of them at least. He's back to 2 laps down again, and he's up to 12th. He currently, as we run, has the points lead. But because he stayed out to take the wave around, he will have to pit about 20 laps before the rest of the field. Down to 18% on that right front off of turn 4 of that lap. Man, look at Chase Briscoe in 4th place. Michael Annette is absolutely dominating the race. Briscoe tries to go to the outside, so does Annette way back there. Busch will get by the 4th place car, Michael Annette, trying to close the gap. 3 wide and tight through 3 and 4. Busch to the bottom, McLaughlin on the top as they try to split the 08 car of Joe Graff Jr. Well, it's good for Busch that he's pulled away from the net for now, but if he doesn't get the caution, it doesn't matter. I guess he can therefore short pit if it stays green to the end. He'll gain more track position with having a heck of a lot fresher tires. I mean, we're probably looking at about 70 lap fresher tires for Busch once he pits. The rest of the field will follow in about 20 laps. They'll likely stay out and wait it out as long as they can, just in case we get a caution. This pass on the 11th place car of Sieg, even though Busch is in 12th, is not for position. He's a full lap behind Sieg. But not anymore. And just the fact that we have not even seen where Austin Cindric is in this race over the course of this run is worrying for Kyle Busch. On where exactly he has to finish at this point. We do know no matter what happens, if Cindric can pull off a miracle at this point, it's just simply because of how fast the one of Michael Annett is, but if he can pull off a miracle and win the race tonight, that would mean Busch has to finish 6th or better. And at the point of being 2 laps down, that's not going to happen. We're still waiting for that possible 3rd caution. He needs it quick. He's going to have to pit in about 5 or 6 laps at the most. And there is Cindric up ahead, so at least we get to see exactly where Austin's running in comparison to Kyle Busch, who was likely the points leader as we run. He had a 9-point lead coming into the night. Caution. Caution is out. Cindric is currently in 9th, by the way, but the caution is out literally a few laps before Busch had to hit pit road, and that's the 2nd time Bilicki's been involved in an accident. So this time it brings out the yellow and turns 3 and 4 once again like earlier. So decision time. Busch is the only car 2 laps down, so he's pretty much trapped. He can't finish any better or worse than 12th unless we get a few more yellows. So he's going to pit here. Free pass is also going to go to Brandon Jones in 5th. And how about Ross Chastain trying to pull off an upset? Justin Haley, last driver in on points. Remember, Chastain does not have a win, and he needs a win to get into the playoffs. He can't point his way in. Same goes for Riley Herbst in 6th, but 7th rather, but Herbst is a lap down. Green flag back in the air. Cindric spins his tires on the restart. Oh, little contact. Busch got to spun the tires too. Busch in the wall into Cindric. Down into turn 1, that got a little hairy. Busch still has 2 sets of tires left if we do get a decent amount of yellows to the end of the race. He doesn't have a short run car, we know that for a fact as well. So Cindric can race up to 6th. with 5 drivers on the lead lap and Cindric being a lap down. Busch is 2 laps down. He's pretty much locked in at 12th if it goes green to the end. So Cindric finishes 6th. Then Kyle Busch will win the regular season points championship by just 3 points over Cindric. If it stays green to the end, he will win by at least 3 points. So Busch basically just got to keep the car clean to the end of the race, and he should be okay. Oh, bump there from behind by the 08 of Joe Graff Jr. Less than 50 to go in this race. Oh, and now the 51 to the inside. Kind of shoved him up into the 44 of Martins, and this is getting dicey. 3 wide. Look at Brandon Jones, man. He is working his way through the field quickly, wanting a shot at that lead. I mean, he is absolutely moving. He's going to need another caution to get up there, but he's looking fast. Look at him, 4 wide. Martin swept it to the inside. Look at how tight it is further behind Busch. They were 4 wide through 3 and 4. Busch just trying to make it to the end of the race, but these guys racing hard around him right now. So 3 cautions in the race so far tonight. An additional 15 playoff points will be huge. Remember, the playoff opener for the Xfinity Series in the round of 12 will be coming up tomorrow night, and it will be at Daytona. Daytona, the first race of the playoffs, so scoring these much-needed playoff points in case something bad happens. Maybe getting involved in the big one perhaps tomorrow night. That would definitely be a nice buffer for Kyle Busch. He does have a lot of wins this year too, but you never know what could happen. But again, that will be tomorrow night. No set start time for that one because, again, it is on a work night for me. But my schedule will go back to normal starting next week. After a long-awaited time. Oh, man. Burton got into the side of Busch and then into the wall. Man, Burton really overdrove the corner and lost control after making the contact with Busch. We stay green. We'll lose off the turn 2 there. No sign of Michael Annette anywhere out of the rear view, it looks like, for Kyle Busch. Wow, well, here comes Burton charging right back to the bottom. Clears both Busch and Martin off of turn 4. So went 3 wide there. Gonna get right back around Burton now off of turn 4 himself. 35 to go, 34 this time for the leader. Riley Herbst all of a sudden has fallen back to 11th, so his chances of making the playoffs with a win tonight definitely dwindling. We don't even know if we're going to stay green to the end of the race either.
Careful, still there. Got one up top. All right, clear outside.
We know Busch has 2 sets of tires. Not sure the rest of the field will pit or not. If everybody on the lead lap pits, if we do get a caution, Busch is going to stay out. He'll take the wave around. He'll get back to 1 lap down, but not everybody pits. He's definitely going to pit with those extra 2 sets of tires. Why not? He's got nothing to lose. Might as well use them. Maybe he can drive his way back up, get back to 1 lap down, and I mean, you never know what could happen from that point. It'd still take a miracle. He's going to need at least 2 cautions to get back into this thing, no matter what happens. Maybe even 3. Late in the regular season with desperation on the line, especially for guys that need to win to get in. Really the only guy, again, that has a shot to win that hasn't won this season or is not already locked into the playoffs on points is Ross Chastain in the 10. He came into the race 50-plus points back. Of course, without any stages, you can only score 40 as a max. And that's with winning the race as it is, so 35 on points for finishing second. So we knew Chastain wasn't going to point his way in this season, but boy, if he can get a win, that would be big. And that would, unfortunately, though, end up knocking out his teammate, Justin Haley. Believe it or not. See Haley running in 15th as he just got passed by Harrison Burton. And Haley was the last driver in on points by 22 points ahead of Clements. Clements has been outside the top 20 most of the night. So Haley easily will point his way in as long as Chastain, his teammate, again, coincidentally enough, does not pull off the win. So it looks like no matter what happens, only one of the colleague racing drivers will make it to the playoffs. Of course, so if Chastain wins, that's 5 playoff points also. We know he's good at the super speedways, and Haley's good at the super speedways too, for that matter. So Daytona definitely play into one of their 2 favorites, or favors, especially being the first race of a round. Things could definitely go pretty well for him there. And look at how loose that 20 car got in the center of the corner. Saw how much the wheels were spinning out there on that race car. Well, she got back around him through 1 and 2. Hard to tell for sure, but I think that might be Michael Annett way back there. He's got Burton and Haley, Busch does, out of his rear view mirror, and then I believe that 3rd car is Michael Annett, the leader. We'll try to race to put him 3 laps down again. Now, if that happens, Busch is definitely at risk of losing a couple more spots, and he does not need that risk. Almost got in the side of Fincham there. One side draft off the exit of 2. Man, and that is moving. He made quick work of Justin Haley. And the good news is all the guys behind him are going a lap down too. So he did have to race with, say, Harrison Burton, Justin Haley. They'll likely both go a lap down before Busch does. Well, at least Haley did. Burton will still have to find out. Still somewhat battling with Busch. He's within his vicinity. Brandon Brown, on the other hand, is at least a few seconds ahead of where Busch is at on the track currently, so Kyle likely won't catch him. Oh, Burton drove it in deep through 3 and 4 there. 23 laps to go. Now, Justin Haley did have a possibility to catch Briscoe coming into the night if we did see a different winner that would knock Haley out. Haley was only 8 points behind Chase Briscoe. But the problem is where Haley's running right around 14th, 15th. Currently he's actually in 15th. Chase Briscoe's been in the top 5 all night and is still on the lead lap. So he's definitely not going to outscore him by 8 there unless maybe even Briscoe brings out the caution. Boy, that would really shake things up. But